Hello everybody, what's happening? Welcome back to another video. This brings back a little bit of old memories to have pre-recorded content. Sorry I'm not able to be on tonight, I should say, just because I do have work, I do have other duties to fulfill, and because of that I'm not able to do a live stream tonight. So sorry about that. And another caveat too is that tomorrow I might not be able to make it on time for the live stream. It's usually at 2 p.m. on the weekends. Tomorrow might take place at 2:30. Just because I do have a little bit of work in the morning. And like I said, so sorry about that. So sorry for the convoluted schedule. I try to work to the best of my ability with what I got, but I do have to make a living at the end of the day. I do have to eat somehow. So there you have it for that. Tomorrow it might possibly be at 2:30. I will schedule the stream for 2 p.m. Be on the lookout at 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. I would say those are the two times that you'd be on the lookout for. I will try my best to make it at 2. The thing that I have tomorrow is scheduled till 2:15, but usually they let us out a little bit earlier, so we'll have to see on that. Anyways, in any case, let's get into the topic for today. The first topic, which is about Van de Beek, someone we just talked about yesterday actually, and now it has been confirmed by the player himself that Real Madrid have been interested in signing him. And some reports have stated that there's already a deal in place. It's just about getting the fee and things along those lines, about getting I would say coming to some kind of agreement with the club, because the player the terms with the players the terms with the player, I should say, has already been agreed upon. It's just about the agreement between the two clubs. So essentially, there you have it. Of course, you had the Ajax technical director earlier last month, I should say, saying that Ajax couldn't keep its big stars, that they want to leave and they want to win things beyond here. They're not able to retain them. We saw this with Matthias de Ligt, who went to Juventus. We saw this with De Jong, who went to Barcelona. And this wouldn't surprise me if Van de Beek comes to Real Madrid. And obviously, there's very, very, I would say, concrete interest from Real Madrid to bring him to the Bernabeu. There's a journalist, I believe he goes by the name of Marcelo Bechler. He said that Van de Beek is expected to sign a 5 to 6 year contract, and that it's pretty much already done. It's just about agreeing the terms between the two clubs. That's essentially what it comes down to. And then Van de Beek already did say, he said, yes, Real Madrid are interested in me, but you're going too fast. And yeah, that's the thing, I guess. These newspaper outlets, they do go way too fast. And I would say in saying things, they do surmise a lot. But at the end of the day, there is interest. So talking about this yesterday, some people have referred to him as a cam, or I would say not as a cam, but as a 6 or a number 8, which would definitely help us. That's really the midfield position that we are lacking in at the moment. And what I would like to see is Van de Beek, definitely, 100%. But what I would like to see is bringing in another midfielder, like a Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen, for me, if we can make this happen, let's make this happen. Just because at the moment we're just so thin in the midfield. We look like we're not going to win anything. We're not going to go far with the midfield we have at the moment. Cruz he's got it in him. There's a top player in there. The only thing is that we haven't seen it this season, in preseason, and I don't know if it'll come in this season. Usually it does, Usually he does come good for us in the season. So maybe we'll just have to do Cruz, Van de Beek, and Casemiro or something along those lines. But we'll have to see what happens. But there you have it for Van de Beek. The interest is concrete, and I think he's going to come to Madrid, which would, of course, consolidate our midfield. But I would like to see another midfielder come in here. I know the Paul Pogba interest is still looming around. I don't think that's going to happen this year. It could definitely happen. It could still happen. I know Pogba's in. He has said the things that he's needed to say, and he wouldn't have said that if he wouldn't have wanted to come to Madrid. I'm sure the idea of coming to Madrid now is probably a little bit lower than what he initially thought. What I mean by that is that he probably thought at the beginning, I really want to go to Madrid. Zinedine Zidane's back, everything's looking good, but after the preseason, I don't know if he wants to come back. It's looking a bit shaky at Madrid. Maybe he's looking to stay with Manchester United for another year, see what happens. So we'll have to see in that aspect. But there you go. Van de Beek would help our midfield, but I would like to see another midfielder in that. I would like to see another midfielder in our midfield. Sounds redundant, but yeah. I would like to see Van de Beek and Eriksen, because Paul Pogba is a very good player. I would like to see him. He's got all the qualities it takes, but there are a few problems. Obviously, the financial part, and obviously what I think about Paul Pogba is that I don't want to build a team around him, because like I said, at Manchester United, it doesn't work out when you build a team around him. He doesn't. I would say he doesn't take on the pressure very well. What I would like to see if Pogba does come is a Real Madrid who has solid foundations in place, rather than coming into a precarious situation where really Pogba has to ultimately carry the team. Could he carry the team? He could to some extent, and I'm not saying that. But throughout a season, it's been shown that he can't necessarily fulfill those duties. So I'm a bit questionable when it comes to Paul Pogba on that aspect. That's why I would like to see Van de Beek and Eriksen at the club. Hopefully we can make those two signings happen, because in the midfield, we just look so thin at the moment. So there you have it for Van de Beek. That's all I wanted to cover on him. The next topic that I do want to cover, sorry about that. The next topic that I want to cover is about Courtois and Jovic. Yes, they have come back from injury now, and they're training with the first team, or training with the squad, I should say. Courtois, look, he's going to come back into the team. He can't usurp that first, I would say, the first position from Keylor Navas. Keylor Navas has to be number one for me. Keylor Navas has to continue being number one, because he's shown it in preseason what he can do, and what he still has it in him. He's still got it for a couple of years left, at least. Keylor Navas has been tremendous, and this has been seen by every, I would say, Madridista out there. The general consensus unanimously is that Keylor Navas has to be number one. And I do not want to see Zidane putting in Courtois because of the name that he has on the back of his shirt, of the glamorous signing, of the Galactico signing. I want to see Keylor Navas take that position and continue taking on that position, because he truly, truly, truly deserves that position, that goalkeeping position at Madrid. Courtois, yes, he can come good, but at the moment, he is not there. He needs to work for it. And, I guess you could say the same thing about Luka Jovic. And I think Jovic will come good for us. Jovic is you have seen it in the Bundesliga. He's a very top finisher, and his movement is very good. But the thing with Luka Jovic, we can't make it too easy for him. It's not the name on the back that's gonna I would say, that's gonna tell you if you're gonna have your spot. It's about putting in the work, and if we can get Mariano, that's what I was alluding to yesterday. If you put in Mariano and then you make Jovic work just that little bit more, then possibly you can get the best out of Jovic, and that's what I would like to see. At Real Madrid, if you're playing for Real Madrid, you want to get the best, you want to get the most out of your players, and this is how you get the most out of your players, by competition, by having players that want to play for the badge, not players that, that are ultimately here, that are ultimately here and just complacent and just like, yeah, it's just another game. No. This is Real Madrid. Everyone has to be at the top of their game. And if someone is not at the top of their game, then, someone else will take that position, essentially. And so, at the moment, what I've seen from Mariano is that Mariano could take that position for a little bit, and obviously what I expect is that Luka Jovic will eventually take that position. But there you have it for that. I didn't want to get too much into it, but yeah, Courtois and Jovic, hopefully, they can just work a little bit harder, so that way they can come into the team and be even better, I would say, and that's ultimately how we'll get the best out of everyone here at Madrid, is by competition, by not letting players get complacent, by not, letting players take positions just because of the name on their back. You got to work for it. Mariano worked for it, and he was revered, I would say, in the past match. He was man of the match, I think, so. Or actually, Kubo was man of the match. But in any case, he was fantastic last game. So hopefully we do something like that. And I think that's all I have for you guys to see. That's all the news really that there is. It's a little bit slow, but there you have the news. Tomorrow, like I said, I will be coming out with the live stream at, is it 2? Yeah, it's usually at 2 o'clock on the weekends, but it might be at 2:30 tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try my best to make it at 2 o'clock, but it might just end up being 2:30. So that's all I have for you guys today. Of course, thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And have a good day. Yeah, thank you.